Today, too many patients aren't getting the care they need. That's why United Health Group is innovating how healthcare is delivered, making care easier to get and less expensive. Learn more at uhg.com/mission.
Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
To tip off this NBA season on FanDuel, you can choose your own rewards, which means you can play your game any way you want.
I get to choose my rewards?
Yep.
Great! Now, excuse me while I lock in.
All customers choose your own reward right now in the FanDuel app. 21 plus and present in select states. 18 plus in Kentucky. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirement, and max wager amount. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
Over the past 20 years, youth employment in the U.S. has steadily declined. While working a part-time or summer job was once a rite of passage, fewer teens today are holding these positions. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, only about 37% of teenagers ages 16 to 19 were employed in 2024. That's down from 52% in 2000. With basic costs rising and the expensive price tag for college, why are so few choosing to work? Alicia Sasser Modestino, director of the Dukakis Center for Urban and Regional Policy at Northeastern University, says it comes down to three factors.
One is that a lot of the jobs that teens used to do have been automated or taken by other workers. So, for example, there's no more Blockbuster video stores since we all stream our movies now. There's also fewer grocery store jobs thanks to those automated checkout lanes. The second reason is that employers have become more picky over time, as some states have made youth labor laws more restrictive. For example, in Massachusetts, youth need to have a work permit that's signed by the school, a doctor, and the employer if they're under 18. Plus, there are restrictions on the number of hours they can work and the types of jobs they can do. So it's much easier to hire a high school grad or college student who doesn't have any restrictions and will keep working year-round. And then third, some youth choose not to work and instead do stuff that looks good on a college application, like extracurricular activities during the school year or pre-college programs in the summer.
When it comes to automation, its influence is only expected to grow in coming years. High school senior Karissa Tang spent 18 months studying how the expansion of artificial intelligence is reshaping youth employment. Working with UCLA Anderson School of Business professor George Geis, Tang found that a large majority of the most common teen jobs are threatened by this technology.
We see a huge impact of AI on cashiers. With AI-powered self-checkout systems, my research predicts a 54% decline in teen cashier jobs by 2030. And that's huge because that's the number one most popular teenage job and also the number one most impacted segment by AI among the top 10 teen jobs. Next are fast food and counter workers. With AI-powered self-service kiosks, my research predicts a 37% decline by 2030. And for retail salespersons, with Gen AI assistants at stores, my research predicts a 30% decline in teen jobs by 2030. So that's definitely pretty big numbers, and there are some roles, though, that are not as impacted by AI. For example, waiters and waitresses and hostesses.
Overall, Tang's research predicts that AI could displace nearly 800,000 jobs within the top 10 teen occupations by 2030. To make matters worse, the labor market has grown more competitive across the board, meaning teens are no longer just competing with each other, but with college-educated adults, too.
Beyond AI, I also see, for example, people with bachelor degrees are getting their jobs displaced and they're going into more entry-level roles, and thus teens are getting pushed out. So this is happening in countries in Asia, and it is beginning to occur in the US as well.
With the labor market tighter than ever, who's landing these jobs and what sets them apart? Modestino says those who already come from more privileged backgrounds tend to have an advantage over their peers.
Particularly when the labor market gets weak like it is now, we see large racial disparities between young people who are in the labor market versus those who are not. So, for example, if we look back at August of 2025, so this last summer job cycle where you're likely to see, the highest number of young people working, whereas 37% of white youth were in the labor market, only 29% of Black youth and 32% of Hispanic youth were in the labor market. And there's a variety of, reasons for that. Some of that is the neighborhoods that Black and brown and low income youth live in, where there are fewer job opportunities, or it's harder to get to job opportunities because of transportation. But also in this last summer, and certainly over the last 6 months, we've definitely seen a chilling effect, particularly for immigrant youth, in terms of their wanting to be able to seek out a job right now.
Industries with high concentrations of immigrant workers, like hospitality and food service, also are popular among teens. But as a variety of factors make those positions harder to access, it raises a bigger question. Does it really matter if teens skip work now and wait until adulthood? Holding a job can teach responsibility, time management, and communication skills. But beyond the individual, Modestino says most people don't realize that teen employment strengthens the community as a whole.
For young people who are living in low-income neighborhoods where there's less opportunities or where schools are potentially not as high quality, we find really large impacts on things like criminal justice involvement. So looking at the research on summer youth employment programs in Boston, Chicago, New York, there's a consistent 30 to 40% reduction in violent crime for young people who participate in the program versus those that do not. The other thing we find is it increases aspirations to attend college. And so we see 5 percentage point increase in high school graduation. Young people are more likely to take the SAT exam and apply to college and even attend a 4-year college rather than a 2-year college.
Tang, for her part, describes her work experience at UCLA and her job as a middle school basketball coach as overwhelmingly positive. She believes that the responsibility of having a job early in life is crucial to building certain skills.
The first is education. There's a segment of teens who work to support their families or save up money for college, and if they're unable to find these jobs, it'll be difficult for them even to attend college. And the second is life skills. For example, I know as a basketball coach, I've learned so much about responsibility, showing up on time, how to build relationships with younger kids, and there's a lot about financial literacy or hard work that many teens won't be able to experience because they're unable to get their first jobs as a teen. And then the third is independence. Many teens are in between this section of, dependence on your family and independence with your own car and job and friend gatherings. So teen jobs create this smooth transition where you're earning money to pay for your expenditures. So the lack of these teen jobs makes it difficult for this smooth transition to occur.
Having a job can also be advantageous for college applications, which is a huge priority for ambitious students like Tang. But how do you break into a job market this competitive when you're still a kid? Tang recommends rethinking how you apply and the kinds of opportunities you pursue.
So for myself, thankfully, coaching isn't as affected by AI as the other job segments. But I know many of my peers, for example, boba tea is popular around here, and I know many of my peers wanted to get a boba job. Some were able to, others weren't. I don't have an exact number, but I'd say maybe 50% weren't successful in finding the job they wanted to get, whether that be a boba job or a fast food and counter worker job. So there's some that pivoted. For example, one of my friends became a golf coach. Another one of my friends focused on doing research, but also many others left without a job whatsoever. So I guess in terms of how our job search methods have changed, it's more focusing on relational jobs and jobs that will assist us in the future, like internships, but also it's not been easy.
Clearly, employment benefits teens, adults, and the communities around them. So, how do we open the door for more hardworking kids to enter the labor force? Modestino has been working with the City of Boston on its Summer Jobs program, an initiative that connects 14 to 18-year-olds with paid positions at community-based and nonprofit organizations in the city. The program has been successful so far, and she believes it could be replicated nationwide.
In Boston, we actually have a Mayor's Youth Jobs Guarantee where every Boston public school student who wants a summer job gets one, which I think is tremendous. And so we're working with other cities to be able to do similar types of programs and to be able to expand that. The other thing that we have found is there's a huge return on these programs. So it typically costs about $2,000, $2,500 per young person to run one of these summer jobs programs because you have to pay them wages as well as run the program. But we find, based on that reduction in criminal justice involvement and the increase in high school graduation, for every dollar you spend on a summer youth employment program, you're getting $2 to $3 back down the road in terms of the reduction in crime and, the increase in employment from having graduated from high school.
To find out more about Alicia, Sasser, Modestino, Karissa Tang, and all our featured guests, visit viewpointsradio.org. For more behind the scenes, check out Viewpoints Radio on X, Facebook, and Instagram. This segment was written and produced by Grace Galante. Our executive producer is Amirah Zaveri. Our studio manager is Jay Silvers. I'm Marty Peterson.
At Leidos, we make things smarter and more efficient. From helping the VA cut disability exam processing times by half, to already being done with this ad. Leidos, making smart smarter.
Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
To tip off this NBA season on FanDuel, you can choose your own rewards, which means you can play your game any way you want.
I get to choose my rewards?
Yep.
Great! Now, excuse me while I lock in.
All customers choose your own reward right now in the FanDuel app. 21 plus and present in select states. 18 plus in Kentucky. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirement, and max wager amount. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.